Hey guys, what's going on? Amber Jones here, and today we're going to be talking about why every business owner is at risk of their calls and texts being blocked and flagged as spam. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that today, and I'm going to do this as briefly as possible because we have to take action against this. Okay, we have to take action against what's actually going on right now. So let me start by saying, why is this all happening, okay? So if we go back in history, we know that there are bad people out there. There's scammers out there, but there's also spammers, okay? And so scammers are people that essentially they steal people's money. But then you've got the spammers, right, of people that can constantly, they might be a legit business, but they're constantly contacting people that don't want to be contacted by them, okay? So it's literally to the point that there are billions of spam calls and text messages that are going out to consumers, okay? And this has been happening for decades. So there's billions and billions of these calls and things that are going out. Well, consumers, of course, they're vocalizing, they're going to saying, hey, what is going on? We need some help to help combat this stuff. I don't want this stuff. People are stealing my money. They're sending me messages I don't want. They're calling me when I don't want it. So I need help. So this is where, and this is really started happening after 1991, okay? So in 1991, FCC and FTC comes into place, and they start putting things in place with the goal, all right? Their goal is actually to start protecting or blocking these spammers, right? They're trying to fight against spammers, okay? So essentially, it's the scammers and spammers versus the FTC. And this actually helped me understand everything, right? Think about it as like a comic book hero thing, right? That's why they've got like the chest. It looks like Superman, right? Okay. So at any rate, so you've got this scammers and the spammers. They're trying to get to the consumers, but the FCC and the FTC are trying to put things in place to block that, okay? Now, this has essentially been happening for decades, and things have been put in place to try to combat these things over the last decades. Well, scammers and spammers keep getting smarter and smarter and smarter and doing extra things to still get these billions of calls and texts going to these consumers, okay? The sad thing is, in this fight, you've got the legitimate business owner, okay? You've got the legitimate business owner that's actually trying to reach their customers and their leads. But guess what? The FCC and FTC, they don't know that. So they're like, wait a minute, do we need to block this too? Okay? We need to block because they're trying to combat all these billions, right? So they don't really have the time to say, hey, you're innocent until proven guilty. No, guys, in this instance, we are guilty. Oops, there's a T in there. Until we prove that we are innocent. That's the world we're living in now, okay? Where we, as a business owner, we are guilty of being scammers or spammers until we prove that we are innocent. It is our responsibility now to prove and go to the FTC and say, hey, we're innocent. We're not a scammer. We're not a spammer. Okay. In this battle, though, to combat these billions of calls, the FTC and the FCC says, hey, we need help from the phone carriers. All right. So they bring on their crew. Right. I don't know. Imagine the video Beat It. I don't know why. Anyway, I imagine a fight. Right. So what they're doing is they're saying, hey, you guys are responsible too to help us combat and block these things. Okay, so that's essentially what is going on and what has actually transpired over decades of time. All right, but now they're getting strong. The FTC, they're trying to put even more things in place to combat spam. Okay. So let's talk about what are they doing, right? What are the things that they've put in place to actually combat the spam? All right. So I'm going to take this off here. All right. So they form what's called the TCPA, okay? And underneath the umbrella of the TCPA are a lot of different things, okay? TCPA. And so then they says, okay, I'm going to form this TCPA. And then underneath the TCPA, we're going to create what's called a do not call directory, a registry, all right? A directory and a registry. This is where people say, hey, if you don't want to be contacted, sign up for this list, okay? And anyone on this list, it is up to the business owner's responsibility to make sure you're not on this list before they try to reach out to you. Then they says, okay, let's come up with caller ID, okay? So let's do these caller IDs to help identify phone calls. And then they said, let's do these things, these technical things, right? CNAME, which is very similar to caller ID, but hey, now we're gonna register you in the database. But guess what? There's like 4 different databases, right? And then let's do stir shaking. We got to make sure that these caller IDs are legit, because these spammers got really smart and they figured out a way to steal other business owners' caller IDs. Okay, so let's put this in place to help it's that. Then recently, these things are what is recent. Okay, a lot of these here are the recent changes that are now being enforced. So now they're saying, okay, now we need to create a business profile. These guys need to register with us, and we need to confirm that, like, are they real? Is this a real business or not? Okay, do they have a real tax ID? Do they have a real website? Do they have all these things in place? Then we need to register them as a brand, okay? A brand. And then we need them to register their campaigns. What messages are they sending? And then guess what? We're going to assess some fees, okay? So these fees are being added by the phone carriers, all right? These fees, like hey, let's make them pay a little bit to prove that they're legitimate as well, right? Like, again, because, scammers and spammers, they'll go out by hundreds of thousands of phone numbers and stuff. So now let's put some fees against that, right? So that'll help combat the spammers, okay? That'll help deter the spammers. Now let's actually check the call behavior. We're going to actually create some algorithms, right? And we're going to monitor the activity of, like, what type of actions are they doing? A bunch of short calls? Are they doing, going from low call volume to high call volume? Are they doing all these things? What is the call behavior that they're doing? And oh, by the way, let's throw in a trust score. Okay. So we're going to look at all these things. And then at the end, they're going to come out with a trust score. All right. So these are just, and this is the tip of the iceberg, but essentially this is, the juice, right? This is their way to combat and discourage scammers and spammers, right? Okay, so here's some of the things that what they want to know, because remember, we're guilty until proven innocent. They're going to block us. They're going to be blocking and filtering and monitoring us until we prove that we're innocent. So here's what they want to know to see, hey, are you guys innocent? So let's take off this first row here. Again, so they're going to want to know, hey, who are you as a business, okay? And are you legit? Then they're going to want to know, if you are a legit business, what are your business details? Because we're going to go check them, right? So then they're going to go and check what you gave to them, okay? And then, okay, great, you're legit. Now let's talk about the contacts, the consumers you're contacting, right? Do you actually have consent? Like, do you have consent to contact the consumers, the people you're reaching out to? And oh, you do? You're saying you have consent? Okay. Well, guess what? Now you got to prove it. Okay. Okay. Then they're like, okay, great, good, right? You've got you've got permission to contact your senders, but what types of messages are you sending? We need to make sure that these messages are good. All right. Oh, you're sending those type of messages? Okay, great. You need to prove it. Okay. So all of these are different things that they want to know before they'll put this block away, right? They're not done yet. Okay. The other thing is, okay, now you've got consumers that you said, okay, they've given you permission to send them. We've checked their messages that you're sending them. But what if they want to opt out? So are you giving them a way to opt out? Okay. Are you giving your people a chance to say, hey, I no longer want to receive messages from you? Okay. Oh, you do have a way? You got to prove it. Okay. Then the next thing they're checking is, are you checking against this DNC list? Okay. So yeah, these people may have given you permission to contact them, but are you checking, are they on the DNC registration list? Okay, so this is just, like I said, the tip of the iceberg of things. But if you can get this kind of story plot, so to speak, in your head, then you can understand what's actually going on, why it's going on. And you're going to see all these funky names stir shaking, all these nerdy names, right? But this is essentially what they're trying to do, what they're trying to prevent. And then once you prove all of these things, you'll get the green light, and now you can contact your customers. Okay, the other thing that you want to keep in mind is that this is actually not a one-time thing. Okay, you register for these one times, but there are a couple of things that have to continue, that you have to continue to monitor, because to make sure to continue to prove that you are innocent. So that is it. That is my time. My son literally just walked in. So hopefully this video helps. Start with this video and then watch the other videos in sequence, and then hopefully these things will help make sense to you. If you like this video, please share it. We need to bring awareness to every business owner that we can. Like, share, thumbs up, heart, whatever you see this video, please help us have the algorithm to reach as many business owners as possible. All right, guys, that's it for now. Take care. Talk soon. Bye.